We're going to be talking about Tesla today. There's four major points we're going to be going over. Fabian is going to start us off with marketing. Alex is going to present sustainability. Darshini is going to do accounting, and I'm going to be doing ethics. Right now, I'm going to hand it over to Fabian, and he's going to jump right into marketing.
Okay, let's dive into the marketing part of Tesla. Brand positioning wise, they market themselves as premium, innovative, and sustainable. It is an electric vehicle brand, so sustainability is one of the main factors, but the premium and innovative part sets themselves apart from other EVs. Also, it targets tech enthusiasts due to their high technological level and early adopters who want to switch into the electric vehicles very early, because you still have a sporty car with a high performance output in the Tesla vehicle. Interbrand values Tesla as a top 25 brand in 2025 with around 29.5 billion US dollars. So Interbrand is like a ranking of every company, and this means a lot, and this means that Tesla has a very high standard. So coming to the product and pricing strategy, innovation, as said, is also replicated into their products. So the strategy of innovation and that drives throughout the entire company and through various processes like in planning, but also here in how do we promote our products. And examples are autopilot or over-the-air updates, which are innovative for their time. And the EV ecosystem, so everything around electric vehicles, is also very different because they have a huge charging software, not comparable to any of their competitors. And they have energy products which comply very well with their electric vehicles or their solar systems, or so it's like they have battery walls, so you have a very nice ecosystem that you can have just by having Tesla, just by being a customer of Tesla. Their value-based and dynamic pricing model is seen by their high prices, so they are a premium brand. But if they see that a vehicle might be too expensive, there might be a cheaper alternative, they have been seen to lower their prices as well and adapt so they can be more competitive in that specific vehicle type environment. Coming to their promotion strategy, you might have all seen this guy, Elon Musk. He is known for, and Tesla especially, is known for not advertising at all. You might have thought that you've ever seen the Tesla advertisement, but I can tell you there is no money spent into advertisement at Tesla. So by every product sold, by every car sold, it's rounded down to $0 of investment into advertisement. So you might ask yourself, how does Tesla still compete? How do they still promote their brand and their vehicles? They do that through showrooms, and every time they announce a new product, they have huge viral product launches. One great example is the launching of Cybertruck. You might have all seen it, where a viewer had to launch a big ball into the window and it cracked. So that was a viral scandal which went all over the internet and made the Tesla Cybertruck very famous, while not even spending a single cent. And another thing is strong word of mouth, because if you're happy with the product, if you have a Tesla, you're very happy with the product, you're going to recommend it to other people. If you're following a review page and they're saying a lot of good stuff about Tesla, about the new Model Y, then you're probably gonna like the new Model Y more, whilst not even seeing anything from Tesla itself. Social media is also a big thing. Elon Musk owns X, formerly Twitter, and he is very, very active, having by far the most followers on that page. So his social media influence is also not to be underestimated. So you might ask yourself, why does Tesla have such a huge downfall in revenue, and why does the company, as we saw before, why does the company drop 35.2% in only 2025? This can have many various explanations, but one of them is also Elon Musk's social media presence having a negative outcome. So whilst everything is focused on this one person, the entire company is dependent on that person. So if he says something controversial, then the entire company might suffer from it. Here are the references, and here are, this is me and this is my email. Thank you for listening.
Our group did Tesla, and I'm covering the sustainability part of it. And my name is Alex. Electric cars. Now these are very sustainable. They're basically the first thing you think of when you think of Tesla. And they're really just great. They're great for the environment compared to gas-powered cars. They have much less emissions because they don't burn any gas while they're on the road. And the only greenhouse gas emissions that even come from the electric cars is when they're produced and the batteries are mined. That's the only place that the greenhouse gases actually come from. In addition to that, the Teslas cost less to recharge than gas. I'm not sure the exact number, but it costs around $50 to $80, I think, to fill up a tank of gas for any normal car, and then it's a lot less, like I'm pretty sure around 20 to 30. Just way less to fill up a Tesla, an electric vehicle. And they also potentially have no carbon emissions. Depending on where the electricity comes from, if it doesn't come from gasoline, like gasoline-made electricity, and if it's made from stuff like biofuel, like solar power, wind turbines and stuff, then it's completely renewable and it has actually no emissions at all, which is pretty sick. Now the next part is the batteries. The batteries for Tesla, they have to be really efficient because you can only store so much energy, and you need to go, if you need to go far, you have to basically have all energy stored up. So the batteries are usually made of lithium or cobalt. These are very efficient materials that store energy very densely, and that's what allows the batteries to last so long. They last a very long time, and they're easy to recharge, which is why cobalt and lithium is used. Now, this next part is Congo cobalt mining, and this is an unsustainable practice that Tesla basically uses. The main place that the cobalt comes from is basically people mining it in the Congo, and it's very unsustainable there. The people don't have great working conditions, there's child labor, and the people are paid very little. So overall, it's just unsustainable, and it's just not great. People, you can even see in the photo that people walk around with shirts on. They don't have protective material, and cobalt's like toxic, so that's bad. Continuation, last slide. Cobalt is very toxic to the environment, which is also another unsustainable thing. It gets into stuff like the rivers, and it pollutes that. It kills all the fish, and if people drink the water, then they get poisoned. It's a carcinogen and it can cause cancer and other stuff like that. It's also toxic to the surrounding environment. It can get into the air and people can breathe it in, then they'll get very sick. And also habitat destruction. A lot of land, as you can see, a lot of land has to be cleared just so cobalt can be mined. As you can see, this is an incredible amount of land. It's a lot. And yeah, that's basically why the cobalt mining is very unsustainable and it's not good. In conclusion, Tesla's on the right track right now. They have very sustainable vehicles, and overall, they're heading the right direction, but they do need to improve where they source the cobalt and the stuff for the batteries from, because currently it's not very sustainable. And yeah, that is it.
Hello everyone, my name is Darshini Adari from Group 1, and in this presentation I'll be discussing about accounting analysis of Tesla from 2020 to 2024. And in this presentation we'll discuss overall financial performance of Tesla, accounting related challenges faced by the company, and recommendations to address these issues. So Tesla's financial statements have been audited by independent registered accounting firm, the PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP since 2005. So now moving to the Tesla's annual profitability ratios written on sale. So the graph shows that the profitability significantly improved from 2020 to 2022, but then declined from 2023 to 2024. So now coming to gross profit margin. Coming to the gross profit margin, it shows a positive trend from 2020 to 2022, but then declined afterwards from 2023 to 2024. The main challenge is earning less profit per vehicle, and this is due to higher cost and price cuts and the market competition. So this can be improved by controlling costs. So next, the operating profit margin and the net profit margin shows Tesla's overall profitability. And the main challenge is lower profits from operations and sales due to higher expenses. So this can be addressed by reducing cost and increasing efficiency. So going on to return on investments, the return on equity tells us how efficiently Tesla generates profits from shareholders' equity, and the main challenges are slower profit growth and higher costs, and these can be improved by managing costs and focusing on profit areas. I messed up. And finally, return on assets. This tells us how efficiently Tesla uses its assets to generate profits. And the problem is these assets generating lower profits due to higher expenses, and this can be addressed by using assets more efficiently and reducing unnecessary costs. Overall, Tesla showed strong growth until 2022, but the decline in profitability ratios in 2023 and 2024 highlights challenges with cost, pricing, and operational efficiencies. So addressing these issues will improve companies' future financial performance. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Easton, and I'm going to be talking about Tesla's ethics today. So Tesla was one of the first electric vehicle companies, as we know. They helped a lot in the partial transition from gas-powered vehicles over to electric-powered vehicles. So this places them under heavy scrutiny regarding things like their sustainability, their transparency, and their long-term environmental impacts. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is their supply chain transparency. So Tesla themselves, in one of the reports, they admitted they purchased parts from hundreds of different manufacturers around the world. So this makes it very hard to find reliable manufacturers and know for certain that they're not using things like child labor or slavery or unsafe working conditions in order to get more profits out of Tesla. So as you can see here, risk of child labor and slavery. And then there's the environmental impact of battery materials. So Alex is going to go more into that as he's in sustainability. And we're going to focus on ethics here, but Tesla is working on fixing these issues. So over the past 5 years, especially 10 years if you go back, but really ever since they started making electric vehicles, they have been putting money into battery recycling, and that's a big one here. And then they're also moving into changing their batteries. So typically you use cobalt batteries for electric vehicles. So this was the more sustainable method, and it was the best one we knew at the time. But as more and more research comes out, there's more and more ways we can create batteries and use these to better the sustainability and long-term impacts of Teslas and other electric vehicles. Obviously, they're going to shift towards that. It's good for their PR. It's good for the world. That's what they need to do. And then we're going to talk about the large-scale traceable mines. So even when they're mining for lithium and cobalt, there is unfortunately child labor involved in the past. It hasn't been confirmed with Tesla. However, the same places they get theirs from, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo, if I remember right, has been found to use child labor and slavery and other unsafe work conditions and things like that. So now Tesla is moving towards using these large-scale mines because they're more reliable. It's easier to view them and report on one or two of these massive mines instead of looking at hundreds or even thousands of different locations for all their products, right? Another thing they've been doing in the past, I'm not too sure when they started doing this, but they've been publishing these annual impact reports. So these are long documents, they're presentations even, and they go into depth on how Tesla is working on things like greenhouse gas emissions and how they're going to slow down their use of it, and basically just help make the transition from gas-powered cars to electric cars a lot cleaner and more sustainable in the end. So yeah, here is a quote from the 2024 impact report. It says, "We strive to achieve net zero GHG emissions." So that means greenhouse gas emissions. They don't want to be responsible for, I guess, killing the planet at that point. It's all about global warming and all the other impacts greenhouse emissions have on the world. So our next topic is going to be Elon Musk. As I'm sure we all know, Elon Musk has talked about so many controversial things. He's done even more than he's talked about. Honestly, I could probably write a 20-page report just on what he's done. But this reflects very poorly on Tesla. So in 2025, there was a movement called Tesla Takedown, and this is targeted to Elon Musk. This is when he came into government. He was the head of a U.S. government department called the Department of Government Efficiency. Short word for that is DOGE. Yeah, so these caused boycotts of Tesla, protests, and vandalism of Teslas. I'm sure everybody's seen it. Before, people would put stickers on their cars, things like that, just so they didn't get vandalized, which is a pretty crazy thing to say. So we're going to move into our conclusion now. So we are going to wrap our presentation up by talking about common questions asked about Tesla. So our first one is, why is Elon Musk still the CEO after everything he has said and done? That is a great question, but the board of directors of Tesla places all their faith in him at the moment, along with all their investors as well. They believe that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world with a net worth of, I think it's 340 billion or something around that, USD, which is insane, but they believe he's going to lead them in the right direction. He's going to bring them the most profits in the future, and he's going to do it in the best way that Tesla can grow as a company and continue expanding and innovating in the way they want to. So our second question is, why do so many people view Tesla as an innovative company? So long story short, they kind of are. They're developing cutting edge technology every day. They led the transition, or the partial transition, as I said earlier, from gas-powered vehicles to electric-powered vehicles. They've got advanced batteries. They use renewable energy like solar power and other clean energies. They focus on advanced energy storage, and then they just push these new ideas into the mainstream, not media, I guess just the mainstream, faster than any other company at the moment. So that wraps up our presentation. I will quickly show our references and then all of our contact information. Oh, hang on, if it'll let me go. There we go. Thank you everybody for your time.